Now, a new migrant standoff is brewing as a rescue ship carrying 47 people heads towards Malta. The vessel was refused entry to Lampedusa in Italy after spending hours awaiting authorization. All sound a little familiar? Well, that's because it is. Earlier this month, 49 migrants were left stranded off the coast of Malta on 2 rescue boats, while European countries argued about who should take them in. After considerable bickering over 2 weeks, in the end, just a handful of countries agreed to accept the migrants between them, prompting one aid group to describe the ad hoc response as, quote, shameful. All right, still with me to discuss this is Brian McGuire of Euractiv. We also have Zovko, a Swedish MEP with the ALDE group. And we are also joined in this panel by Zovko, a Croatian MEP from the Croatian Democratic Union and with the EPP as well. Juliana, I'll start with you. I mean, this story of another boat, another standoff. Here we are again. We're going to take weeks debating who's going to take 1, 3, 5 migrants. Is this what EU policy has come to?
No. I wouldn't think that this should be a policy arguing. The policy should be dealing with this issue at its source. And this is what we are advocating in the European Parliament, to deal with migration issue at the source and to finally focus on the real problem. And
but in the meantime, the people are coming to the borders. Yes, you can deal with the problem at the source, but they're here at the border. So what do you do with them?
Yeah, but you cannot deal with the crisis by provoking crisis sometimes. And what we are trying to stop doing is this preventing this crisis, like making all the time the issues out of this, and the boats that are taking migrants from the parts like Libya, bringing to the countries and then making the problems between the countries, it's not contributed to resolving the problem.
I'll ask you that same question. I mean, do we solve the problem at the source, but then in the meantime, what do we do here?
Well, of course, we have to solve it by people coming. People will be coming and will be drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. So we have to deal with these issues. It's shameful that we are not dealing it. It's shameful that countries are casting, playing each other against each other in that battle. And at the same time, we are debating here golden visas. Well, visas that we are giving to people who are able to pay for getting citizenship.
Sure.
So it's shameful. Of course, it's shameful.
Yeah, indeed, we will be talking about that. But first, I want to stick with the fact that as the rescues continue and we have countries bickering over each other, we have, I think, Germany pulling out of the Sophia operation, which is responsible for rescuing the migrants. Are they right in pulling out of this operation because they are angry at Italy for not having a solution, basically?
Yeah, but the Germans also said they're withdrawing for the moment. They are prepared to send ships back in the future. But one interesting thing was that they accused the Italians in the middle of this of sending the German ships to the far end of the Mediterranean where there were no smuggling routes and no migrants crossing over as well.
Just to clarify, because the Sophia operation is meant to tackle human trafficking,
yes.
but what they actually ended up doing is saving migrants.
Which they are required to do under international law.
Sure.
If there's life at risk, they're required to save. That's the first priority.
Sure.
Now, when you get them to land, then are they illegal migrants or are they asylum seekers who are entitled to be there? The rules are clear. But we're putting these people back in harm's way for the sake of our own fragile egos when it comes to speaking to our citizens and saying we have a responsibility. Salvini's behaving in an understandable way because Europe hasn't supported them, but Europe's behaving in a shameful way.